Welcome, everybody, to episode 82 of the effing title and the last episode of the effing title.
Wait, like last ever?
Will last until football season, because football starts up, so we're going to be going to the football podcast here in a little bit. So this is the last one before we go to the football podcast. As you just heard, my guest for this week is one of my best friends, my college roommate. It is my buddy, Big Jon. Jon, how you doing?
I am wonderful.
Wonderful?
How are you? Wonderful.
I'm weirdly either okay or I'm in pain right now. It's one of the two.
Why are you in pain?
I fell down recently.
I almost ate shit so hard this morning.
So I did.
What'd you do?
Have I told you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh shit! All right, so fucking I was like went to go throw my trash out, right? Threw my trash out as I was coming back into the building. I see one of my old coworkers. I haven't seen her in a while. She just went through. She's going through a divorce right now. So I was like, I should probably say hi to her, And she immediately saw me. She's like, I haven't seen you in so long. I don't have a husband anymore. Come give me a hug. And I was like, that's fucking a weird way to word it, but okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I came over and I gave her a hug, and it was the most awkward hug because like I went one direction with my arms and she did the same. So I started to go the other way, and she did too. So I kind of went back again. And then when I went to hug her, my arm went around her head, and she had glasses, so I was just, like, slamming her head and her glasses into my chest. And, like, the other arm was, like, around, like, her lower back, so it was just a really weird fucking hug anyway.
So how did you fall?
So that's what I'm getting at. So after the hug and how awkward it was, I was like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. So I went, and we were in the middle of the pathway, and I didn't realize we were in the middle of the pathway. So I went to go step to the side to walk around her, thinking like, oh yeah, we're over by the wall of the building, we got plenty of fucking room. So I go to step off. I completely step off the fucking sidewalk with my right foot. And somehow, while my right foot is fully stepping off of the sidewalk, I somehow pick up my left foot at the same time. My left foot clips the fucking sidewalk. I start going down on my left side. Then somehow I'm moving forward onto my right side. And at this point, the athlete in me kicks in and goes, oh shit, we're going down. We better do something. So I fucking tuck barrel roll onto my right shoulder, flip over into like a super fucking hero pose like this.
Oh my god.
In the middle of the fucking like sidewalk. Fucking 4 people around me. A car slams on its brake as soon as it sees me fucking flying. And I'm just like, I just gotta play this off. So I just jumped up as quick as I could. Like, there we go. And like all the people that were there were like, you okay? Like, fucking hey, like that looked like it hurt. And I was like, I don't think I'm hurt. And I looked at my legs and like, didn't see any fucking scarring or anything or nothing on my, like literally nothing on my legs.
No blood, no foul.
And I'm sitting there like, so immediately, 21st century, fucking privilege. Pull out my phone to make sure my fucking $1,000 phone's okay, I'm like, okay, that's okay. Put it back in my pocket. And they were like, Jesus, like, are you sure you're okay? I was like, yeah. I was like, at least I made it look fucking cool,
But like, I'm good. You get back to the room, you're like, oh, God, that hurt.
That's the thing, right? So I got back, and I'm like, I'm still sitting there, like, it's okay, it doesn't hurt too much. I'm told a few people. That's the thing is, like, that's why I thought I told you, because I told a few people. Nope. Well, fuck me, right? And but yeah, so I get back and I sit down. I'm like, I feel kind of fine. All right. I was like, shit, I still have to do the bike though. I still have to go upstairs and get on the bike. So I'm like, all right. So after after maybe like an hour, I start getting some hip pain, and I'm like, oh fuck me, like really, like now it's gonna start kicking in. The adrenaline's worn off. I was like, I should probably go down on the bike now. So I fucking go downstairs, get on the bike, fucking pedaling away, doing my thing, right? And then suddenly it's like my hip, my knee, my back. I'm like, oh no. Like the most painful biking experience I've ever had. And I'm just like, nah. We're only at 10 minutes. But yeah, man, like I felt like that's the first time I've fallen in a long time. Because like that's one of the things that like I always pride myself on when it's like snowy up here. Is like I'll start slipping and catch myself. Because of course, being a lineman, redistributing weight, very easy for us, So it's like I start fucking slipping, redistribute, and I catch myself, and out loud I always say athlete. which is hilarious when there's other people around, and I'm just like fucking about to eat shit, and then I catch myself and like athlete.
You know, it's really funny. I did the exact same thing.
Really? Yes.
All right, so I'm you know, today's 5K fun day for me.
Yep, 5K fun day. Yep.
Yep. So I go out this morning, and I'm like, normally I go to the Y and I run at the Y because it's like nice and air conditioning. It's hot as hell here, but
Yep.
it wasn't too bad this morning, and I was up early enough, so I'm like, I'm gonna go running around the neighborhood. And I did this last week too, and it's kind of nice. I prefer running outside now. But anyways, I start doing my loop. On my first loop, I go back and I go like down near like there's like a Publix and a few other places near us, and like I'm running up a sidewalk there, and I'm running along, and I'm like, I'm gonna pick up the pace. I start to pick up the pace, and then I hit like I don't know what I hit. It must have been like a raised section of the sidewalk or something like that. I like hit it, and I flew forward. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going down, and then like I somehow managed to catch myself, and like I put my hand on the ground and like pushed myself back up. It just like kept going, like it kept staying on my pace. I'm like, I'm a fucking athlete. Like if this had been like 6 months ago, man, I would have been on the ground like dead.
Like it's one of those things, right? Like it's one of those things where like every time I do it, I'm just sitting there like wondering if like I'm on cat with 9 lives, and every time I just yell athlete after I catch myself, if that's me just taking a life off, right? Like, oh man, but yeah, no, it's fucking wild, dude. Like I wonder now that you say that, and we both have that same like kind of athlete mentality with that. I wonder if the same thing happens with like Jeff and Rob, like.
I'm sure it does. It has to.
I'm gonna have to ask them on Tuesday because of course they're not gonna be here tomorrow because tomorrow is Labor Day. You got any plans for Labor Day? Doing anything fun?
Nope. I got to pick up the wife and kid at the airport, but other than that, nope, nothing.
Oh, there we go. I will be on stream and then at work, probably.
You may be streaming in the morning, afternoon.
I'm not sure yet, to be honest. I might just kind of stay with the same kind of like 9 to 2 sort of thing. I haven't decided yet, though. I mean, like I said, no matter what, it's a holiday for most people, so I don't know how it's going to go. But, I mean, I want to get in some Apex. I want to do some Overwatch. Go back, after playing some Overwatch yesterday. And just kind of... It was weird going back to Overwatch because it felt very... What's the fucking word?
Nostalgic?
Not even nostalgic. It just kind of felt like I was in, like, autopilot. Other than, like, one moment. There was, like, one game where, like, I didn't feel like I was in autopilot. But the rest of it just kind of felt like... nope, here we go again. I'm playing this character on this map, like that sort of thing. I don't know. It was weird. It was kind of weird. Yeah, but
I don't know if I can get back in. I don't know if I can get back in Overwatch.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I understand the people that are not getting back into it for the reasons, of course, that we won't fully get into. But are legitimate reasons, and I understand those people that do. It's just that's the game. That's my fallback game now. I've realized. Like, it used to be Madden, it used to be NCAA, but like no, now it's Overwatch. Like, if I don't know what to play, the first thing that pops into my mind is Overwatch. Like the lore, the characters, all of the stuff that's in the game that doesn't revolve around the actual Blizzard company. That's the stuff that keeps bringing me back to it. Again, I get toxic as fuck and I hate it, but I love it too. It's
It's a love-hate relationship.
yeah, a lot of hate, a little bit of love now. Man, speaking of you doing your 5K fun day, how's your running doing and all that? How's your workouts doing? How you doing with all that?
They've been really good.
Yeah.
I never, ever since like football ended, like I just kind of fell off from working out. I haven't like worked out in years.
I remember as soon as the season got over with, both you and me were like, we're gonna fucking do it. We're gonna get in shit. We're gonna drop a ton of weight right now, like that sort of thing. And we were going down to the treadmill before we went to dinner. We were eating nothing but fucking rice cakes.
Yeah, it was horrible. I just remember that diet after football. Maggie remembers it too. She's just like, you were horrible. She's like, that was the dumbest idea.
Bro,
like, we just like stopped eating.
I still remember there was one day when you straight up said to me, I was like, Husky. Of course he didn't call me Husky back then. Husky, I've had 3 rice cakes today, and that's it. Let's go drinking. Like, I'm like sitting there like, no, we're not going drinking. If that's all you've had to eat, we're not going drinking. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it really was though. It's fun. It's funny thinking about it, like thinking back on it now, because like yeah, like that was stupid what we were doing.
Yeah, it was.
It was
It
100%
was not
stupid.
maintainable, and I mean,
No.
we lost some weight, but then it was like because it wasn't maintainable,
Mm-hmm.
which is the
Well,
most important thing.
and that's the thing,
Then
right? Is like
you gained all back.
right. So like I think back to like the diet that I had when we were in football season that senior year. Like I didn't eat breakfast. For lunch, I had a sandwich, and for dinner, I had a sandwich, and like that was my entire like that was my meal plan, like right there. Like every now and then, I would go and have like the actual like main course meal, but I was just living off fucking sandwiches,
Yeah.
you know. But like then when you think about it, it's like no matter what I put into said sandwiches, because they weren't fucking. I'm not talking small sandwiches. I'm talking like a roll, like every fucking type of like salami, pepperoni, fucking all of it. Just throw it all on
Yeah.
there. Like 5 slices of cheese, some fucking lettuce, throw on some chipotle mayo on that bitch, and then top on. Maybe some onions. I think I had some onions on it because I think I've always been a big onion guy.
I love onions on sandwiches.
Oh, 100%. You know, but like think about that. Like you know, I can make like a 2,000 fucking calorie sandwich easy.
Oh yeah.
But the
Of
amount that
course.
we were burning off during practice.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could eat anything during football season, man. You could eat anything you wanted. You could go to the calf or whatever and get like fucking 5,000 calories worth of food. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
Like you burned off 10K that day, easy.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, oh man, yeah, no,
I
that's
look back at those times and I'm just like, man, that was like such hell during football season. Like it was just like, especially in the summers, it was just so
bro.
hot and so ridiculous.
Well, like, and
Like I
that's
love the season, but it's just that summer camp, man. It was just hell to get through.
well, like that's the thing is like I've talked about it with some other people recently too because I find it interesting because like I think especially with us our class our mentality right it built that weird unique thing of like if we're uncomfortable we don't really say anything we just kind of deal with it because that's how we were right like it's 2 a days it's 90 degrees you get 2 water breaks 3 people have already passed out today at practice. Does it matter? No. Are you going harder? Yes. Why? Because if you don't, you're gonna have to run afterwards. Right? So like it's one of those things where like people when I say like you know like yeah when I complain because it gets hot in my apartment right when I'm like yeah it's 92 in my apartment it's one of those things like I just shut up and deal with it because that's how we've dealt with things
Exactly.
our
Yes,
entire
that is-
college career it's just
That
like
is, I try to explain that to Maggie. That is my mentality, man. It's just remember Mother Russia, suffer in
yeah.
silence.
Mhm.
Like I live by those words now. Like I don't complain about pain. I don't complain about anything anymore. Like I just don't care. Like I know other people don't care, so I don't complain to them. Like I carry on. Like this is just who I am now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like because I was saying it's my dad mainly, because of course out back in my office, like yeah, I get shade in my workshop, but the humidity out there is fucking terrible because
yeah.
it's literally just a little fucking brick building, so the humidity in it just fucking rises. So like I'll be out there and like yeah, like I think there was one day inside it was 85, outside it was 69, giggity. You know,
I like it.
and it was one of those things where like I'm sitting there, my dad's like, you know, it's like, well, we could get fans, and I'm like, if we get fans, it's gonna blow my paperwork around, it's gonna blow around the fucking bubble wrap, it's gonna do all this other shit. Like, no, we're not doing fucking overhead fans. And he's like, okay, what about an AC unit? I was like, nothing in here is like,
Sealed?
sealed up. Nothing
Yeah.
in here is, and this is a building that goes into a second part of a building. I was like, I'm not gonna get anything from it. You know, and he's like, I hate how every time I say something, you just immediately turn it off. And I was like, because I don't care. Like, it's a little hot out here. Get me some fucking sodas. Like, like put a 12-pack in the fucking fridge and let
Give
me
me a
just...
mini fridge. We'll call it a day.
Well, I have a mini fridge out there. It's just like...
Oh, even better.
Yeah, I've been asking for the company to buy me Zoa, which is the Rock's, like, energy drink. Like Dwayne,
okay. Yeah.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He has his own energy drink thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one.
Yeah, they're called Zoe. I think it's Zoe or Zoa. I forgot which one it is. I don't know if you pronounce the A or not. But like, they're actually decently good. Like
I've never had them.
I've actually enjoyed them. They have a variety. Oh, they had. Let me rephrase it. They had a variety pack online. I've only had like 2 of them because I saw them at a store. Actually, my dad saw them at a store and immediately bought 2. But there's a variety pack online. I've been meaning to buy it because I'm going to do a video for it. Because yet again, why not?
Are they like carbonated?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Anyway, I mean, I can send you the link afterwards. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they're not
Well, if
bad.
they're carbonated, I can't drink them anyway, so it's all good.
True. True. I mean, like I said, I'd have to look at them again. Because now that you say that, I honestly don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember if there was a fizz when I
Most
opened
energy
it.
drinks are.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
Uh,
I really enjoyed them. Like, so I was saying to him, I was like, just buy me a fucking 24 pack, 30 pack of Zoa Orange and just put them in the
mhm.
fucking fridge. I will shut up for the rest of my life. Like, just do that monthly. Just give me a month's supply of them at a time. Like,
I'm assuming he's not going to do that.
no, he thinks that's a stupid idea, and he thinks that instead buying an AC unit for $200 to $300 and then spending the $80 probably a month to cool not even 1% of my office is a better idea.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I have to actually agree with the old man on that one.
I'm just saying,
You're out
bro.
there sweating your ass off, and you're like, I want to drink energy drinks. No,
Yeah!
no, come on, no.
Yeah, just fucking let me just pound a bunch of fucking.
Go to Costco, get $3, get 48 pack of water. That's what you need out there. Fill the mini fridge with some water. Keep yourself nice and cool and hydrated.
All right, how about this? How about we go 1 pack of water and 1 pack of Zoe? How about that?
All right.
Like,
Just make sure you intermix them. No more than one per shift
yeah,
of the Zoa.
yeah. Woo! I'm my 10th one. I can't feel my arms. Oh.
All right, so speaking of energy drinks, since we got on the topic there, I tried a new one recently. So it's supposed to be a pre-workout. And it was just the only reason I tried it is because it was free. Like it came up in my
Okay.
Facebook feed, and I'm like, all right, let me try. See, look at this. It's called
Oh,
6 a.m. Run. 6 a.m. Run.
Oh, is
I
it
don't
one
know
of
if
those
you've heard of
ones?
this shit.
I haven't. Is it one of those ones where like you pay shipping, like that? Like one
Yeah,
of those
yeah,
ones?
yeah. It was like $5 or $6 for shipping or something, but you get like 5 little trial packets or whatever.
For $5 to $6, yeah, fuck me up. Send me all of them. Like,
Yeah, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. Why not? So I order the stuff. It comes in. Like I don't know if you've ever seen those Customs and Border Patrol shows, but like people try to get like sneak drugs into the country, like cocaine and shit. They use these like black carbon paper kind of wrappings. Yeah, this shit came in that. I'm like, what the hell? I open it up. There's 5 like nondescript packets, individually sealed, like with a zip top on them too. And I'm like, why does it have a zip top? Like, why would I need a zip top for this? Like, I kid you not. Maggie looked at it and she goes, "What the hell did you get?" And like, all I could think in my head is like, they just sent me crystal meth. Like, what the fuck is this?
that's one of those ones where you have to like immediately call work and be like, look, guys, I'm just letting you know right now. This said energy drink, and I'll show you it. It said energy drink, but this is what I got. So anything that happens, I'm just letting you know right now.
Just don't drug test me for a few weeks. We'll be okay.
Just letting you like. God, that's wild. It was funny thinking like, think. Oh, so first off, how did it work? Have you used it?
I mean, yeah, I used the. So they have like 3 different types. They have the recovery, which you're supposed to take afterwards. It has no caffeine in it.
Okay.
They have one that's called Marathon, which is supposed to be an all-around, like has some recovery in it, and it has some of the what they call their sprint product in it. And that's supposed to be for like when you're doing long distance running, like half marathon, full marathon, that type of stuff.
Okay.
And then they have their sprint, which is supposed to be for like a 5K. So I'm like, okay, well I'm going to be doing 5K. So I got 1 marathon, 1 recovery, and then 3 sprints.
Okay.
So I tried the sprint this morning. I had one when before I did my 5K, which is why I was all fucking jacked up and like sprinting the whole time.
Yeah.
And well, actually, okay, I'll go back to the first time I tried. So I tried one on Friday. I'm gonna jump backwards here. And I was like, all right, let me go to the gym. I'm gonna try this stuff. I dropped my kid off at school, go to the gym, chug this thing right before walking into the Y. Go into the Y. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna set my thing to 6 miles an hour, which is normally what I do for like the first mile. I run like 6 miles an hour. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't like bad. Like I was like about a quarter mile into it. And I'm like, this isn't bad. So I start cranking it up a little bit more, and I'm like running. I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing fine. I crank it up a little more, and I'm like running along. I get to the end of my workout, and it's like I wound up like my normal pace is like 5.5 miles an hour for about 2.1 miles. And I was at like I think I sent you the picture. I was at like 6.15 or something like that, like miles per hour the whole time. I'm just like, what the hell? And like I felt good too afterwards.
That's wild. That's wild.
And
I mean,
then-
that's awesome. It felt good. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, and then I went and, like I did a leg day too, so I did like all my legs and shit. And then I went back, and I'm like, I'm still feeling like I could do some more, so I went back and did hills, and I did like a mile of
Oh,
walking up hills.
it was that day. Okay, I remember you
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
I mean, the hills I think killed me at the end because I was starting to wear off, and I was like, oh man, like I got about 3/4 of a mile into the mile of the hills, and I was like, oh, this is rough. But it was, I mean, it works well. It does exactly what they advertise, right? Like it gives you a nice little boost of energy before you go and start your workout.
Exactly. I mean, nothing will ever beat Jacked 3D though,
No,
or
I mean
Jacked 3D.
that
But
stuff was crystal meth.
yeah, I was gonna say that was crack in a fucking can. Holy shit.
Didn't they take that shit off the market because they had like crack in it or something?
No, they took it. So they took it off the market because a bunch of fucking like it was like a bunch of sprinters or something like that. Some college used it, and then went out and running.
Hmm.
And they were like, What are you doing?" Like they died. Like I think they either died or they got put in like ICU. And it was just one of those things. It's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Like, this stuff like basically says on it that this is for just working out, like not fucking running. Like, but yeah, no, like they took it
Yeah,
off the shelves and then they brought it back with a new formula and they removed a bunch of stuff and it was fucking baby powder after that,
not as
basically.
good anymore. I just remember taking that shit, and you're just like, I mean, it delivered, man. The name it says
That
like jacked, and like you were jacked after taking that stuff.
that is literally the only pre-workout that I've had that I feel like actually worked ever. And the only reason why I say that is this is because when I first started coaching over at the high school, there was a few people in there, gym rat guys, that were on the coaching staff, and one of them bought it at one point. They asked me about it. They were like, "Hey, have you ever heard this?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I used to use that in college. Like, all my numbers like fucking doubled after I started using it." Which, I mean, you can attest. Most of my numbers did fucking double after I used that. You know.
Yeah,
And they're like, "Oh, cool." So they used it one day, and I was in the gym with them. And after like 30 minutes, one of the guys comes over and he goes, "So, is your heart supposed to like be beating this hard and your skin be tingly?" I'm like, "Yes." That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
oh, you know it's working, son.
And exactly, he's just kind of sitting there. And he's like, I don't know if I like this. Meanwhile, he's doing this the whole time. His his fingers are just moving constantly. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, yeah, you got this. You got this. This is the work in the way it's supposed to work. You know. Oh man.
It gets you a little edgy, just a little like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
little on edge, and
Oh my god.
which is also typical of a caffeine overdose. But who's counting?
I mean, that's the thing is like I feel like especially for fucking our generation, we are fucking caffeine overdose is a thing of the fucking past. Like it takes a lot of caffeine to fucking one of us to overdose now.
Not me anymore. I stopped caffeine for what 3 or 4 months.
Damn.
Just completely cut it off 100%, and like I went back. Like recently, I started drinking like a cup of coffee, and like, I mean, a cup of coffee is all I need. Like 6 ounces in one day, that's all I need.
Yeah, no, see, I like today I've had that was my second coffee, and I've had a Monster. But like there's some days where it's like I'll have like 2 coffees, a Monster, a Glitch, and a fucking like Coke Energy, and I'm fine. Like I'll fucking pass right out. Like you know,
Doesn't affect you.
not at all. Like I've taken 2 4-hour energies. Like this was like maybe 4 years ago, mind you. I took 2 4-hour energies and passed the fuck out.
It's 8 hours of energy right there.
Yeah, 8 hours of fucking nap energy. I tell you what though, I woke up and I was fucking like wired. My eyes were fucking bugging. I was ready to fucking coach. Yeah, that's right. I did that before fucking coaching.
2 hours after practice, you're still running around like, come on, let's go.
Oh, this is before a game, bro. Like we were on the on a
Jesus.
like yeah, we were on a road trip. So like I was sitting there and I was like, I think it may have been the first time I was calling plays. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to make sure I'm fucking ready for this. So I fucking downed 2 4-hour energies, and then like within 10 minutes of us fucking leaving, I was fucking passed out at the front of the fucking bus. Like just fucking fully cocked out. Woke up afterwards, just fucking eyes fucking wide open, fucking like ready, just like yeah, let's fucking go.
The calm before the storm.
Exactly, and then we got our asses beat. But yeah, no, man, that's fucking wild. I was gonna say something about pre-workout and stuff, and I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh.
Damn broken brain.
That's okay. We go back to running topic, I guess, and fitness and stuff.
Yeah.
So I could tell. Let me tell my story here.
Go ahead. I
I
tell
can I
plenty
can
of
tell a little
stories.
story.
Yeah, I tell plenty of stories. You tell a story.
So you probably know I've been losing a lot of weight lately.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've lost about I think I passed the 100-pound mark recently from where I was about a year ago.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, it was really like
So,
kicked me into gear, I guess. So I was like at like the hospital, right? And I had kidney stone at the time.
oh,
So it was, hella painful or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm like we just talked about. I'm not one to complain,
Yeah,
like
exactly. Like
ever. And I'm
when,
like, but this was pretty painful. So I'm like, all
yeah,
right, I got to go to the hospital. Like this might be appendicitis. This might be
yeah.
something
Well,
like
like that's
serious. I got to get taken care of.
when I went because of my I can't even fucking remember what it was now. But when I went that day for what the fuck it was that I had? What the fuck was it that I had now? Appendix? No.
What's it?
Gallbladder. My
Oh,
gallbladder.
gallbladder.
Yeah, when my
Also, yeah.
gallbladder spazzed out, like that, like I call, like of course so I did the podcast, talked to a few people. I was saying, I think it was Dana. I was talking to Dana, and I was like, I'm like this really fucking hurts. And she's like, lay down, see if that helps, like that sort of thing, right? So like, lay
Mhm.
down didn't fucking help. And like, I remember messaging my dad, and I was like, hey, I'm in some pain right now. And he's like, where? And I told him where. And he's like, are you in pain or are you in pain? And I was like, this fucking hurts. And
Mhm.
he's like, I'll be over in 10 minutes, and we're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And like we went to the ER, and like on the way over here and on the way over, I asked him like how, like why he was so quick to make that, and he straight up said, he's like you don't fucking, like, when something hurts you, you fix it yourself. He's like, you never say I'm in fucking pain.
Yep.
So he's like at that point, that's when I knew, like, we need to do this. And apparently I passed a kidney stone while I was there. Didn't know that, but
You got a double whammy, man.
well,
And
that's
it's
the thing,
also
bro. Like, they told me to. They told they,
kidney stone too.
That's the thing, is like at one point they're like, we need to make sure it's not a kidney stone, so we need you to pee in this fucking little tube thing. So I peed in the tube or whatever. Fucking hella awkward when you're laying down too, and you're in pain and you're trying to hold up a little bottle and try and piss, but you're also wearing your jeans still.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh yeah, it looks like you may have passed a kidney stone. There was a little bit of blood in it, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Just fucking keep sending them pain meds my way. Woo! But all right, so you're there for your kidney stones.
Yep. So I'm there for my kidney stones, and it's funny you mentioned pain meds. So I was there. We were there, and I kid you not, like probably 2 months prior.
Yeah.
Like Maggie had similar issues,
Mm-hmm.
and like they treated her, like any other patient, gave her painkillers,
Mm-hmm.
checked her into a hospital, blah blah blah. Yeah,
Yeah.
whole 9 yards or whatever. So I go in, and I'm like, Maggie's like, I think this is a kidney stone because she just had that type of stuff.
Exactly. So
I'm
she
like,
would know.
okay. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So we go in, I do the pee in the cup thing. They're like, oh yeah, there's blood. It might be a kidney stone. Doctor comes in and goes, did anybody ever talk to you about your weight? And I'm like, I'm here for like a kidney stone. Like,
Yeah.
I think I have a kidney stone. Like, it's painful down here. Like, something's going
Sir.
on. He's like, oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. More important, uh,
That's
he's just telling me about my weight, and I'm like,
exactly. It's that thing where you're looking at me like, sir, I see myself every day in the mirror. I don't need anyone
I
to
know
tell
who
me.
I am. I know how big I am.
I don't need anyone to tell me that I'm this big. I know I'm this big.
Yeah, so this guy he just goes into me for about 20 minutes talking about how I'm a really big guy and that I should really try to, work out. I should really try to, lose
Mm-hmm.
weight and all this other stuff. And I'm like sitting there in pain, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So he's like, all right, we're gonna do a or not a cat or whatever, some sort of scan, right?
Yeah.
Like on your abdomen to see if there's actually one there. So they bring me over to the machine or whatever, and the guy's like, well, how much do you weigh? And I'm like, oh, I'm like 460 because of how much I was at the time. And he's like, well, let's put you on the scale. So he puts me on the scale, and I'm like 465 or whatever, a little bit more. And he's like, oh, I can't scan you. This machine can't hold you. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, it doesn't hold you. Like, you'd have to go someplace else. And it's like late at night, and I'm like, I can't go anywhere. Where am I going to go? And he's like, yeah, there's like most hospitals wouldn't be able to hold you. You'd have to go to like a specialty facility. And I'm like, well, dude, I'm in pain right now. Like, what's going to happen here? So
Yeah.
they bring me back to the room or whatever, and the guy's like, Well, I don't really know what you have, so I think you might have. I think you might have. What's it called? Food poisoning. Like, where do you get food poisoning from? I'm like, I'm in pain, like my lower abdomen or whatever. He just like the guy would not take me serious. He never gave me painkillers the entire time. Never cared anything about me. The only thing he told me is basically I was fat. You need to go home.
Yeah, like there's sometimes,
I
bro.
was
There's
so upset about it after that. I was so pissed off. I'm like, I never complained, and I'm like,
mm,
I'm sitting here in pain, and that like basically got told you're fat. You probably have food poisoning. Go home.
yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like that. Like that was one of the things that happened with one of the last times I actually went to the like doctors, like around college time. I went to one, and I'm a health science, like I'm a health science major. You know, like I'm doing a lot of this in college. Like I just need this. Like this is all I need. I physically can't get this without a doctor's. No, but like this, I was like, this is all I need though. And they're like, oh,
Hmm.
okay. Is there anything else you need? I'm like, and I'm sitting there looking at this like old lady. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, like are you in pain? Do you need me to write you like a painkiller like you need? And I'm sitting there like this old lady just said, do I need fucking like hydros right now, basically? And she'll just write that bitch down because I said that I'm fucking doing health science. Like I think it was like I needed to get antibacterial, like
Antibiotics.
yeah, antibiotics. That's what I needed. I like cut myself. It was like during the summer. I cut
Yeah.
myself and started getting a little bit infected. So like I just went in there and I'm like, yeah, like I got a cut on my hand and I just need some antibiotics, for this, like that sort of thing. Like I'm a health science. I know this, but I can't get it over the fucking counter. So I mean, you know. But like, yeah, she's like, oh yeah, is there anything else you have? Like, are you in pain? I'm like, I'm always in pain, Like, she's like, oh, I can give, I can write you some, something for that too. And I'm sitting there like, dude, no, no, don't do it, don't do it. Like, like it's unreal. But then like the guy that I have right now is like thorough.
Yeah.
Like he is fucking like. I went in and he's like, okay, he's like, your blood pressure's kind of high. I'm like, yeah, kind of high in my family. And he's like, huh, yeah, I'm not accepting that as an answer. Like that sort of thing. And I'm like,
Genetic predisposition doesn't exist to me.
well, that's the thing. It's like I'm sitting there like, wait, what? You know? And he's like, yeah, sir, like, I kind of want to put you on some medicine for it. I'm like, no, 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 that's not happening. No, we don't. Nope. And that's when, is when, I started fucking losing weight too. That's annoying though, John. I'm sorry you had to fucking go through that.
Yeah, so like after that, I started like looking into like what I can do for losing weight or whatever, and I
Mm-hmm.
started, working out. When I say working out, I mean like walking. Like
Yeah.
I've taken the dogs on like extra long walks, and I just walk through the neighborhood, and I've on the loop is about 1.3 miles, and I just every day take the dogs on a walk like that. Of course, they loved it until until it got really hot, and they just started getting really tired all the
Right.
time. But um, yeah, so I started doing that, and I started dropping a little bit of weight, and then I went to, I actually went for a consultation to get surgery done for weight loss surgery because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, my blood pressure is high, my pulse rate is high, like everything about me is saying I'm really unhealthy, and I'm like, fucking doctors won't even take me serious anymore. Like they don't see, can't see past that. And I'm like, oh, I got to get over this. So got consultation. I had to get checked out by like 20 other doctors and get every test under the sun to prepare for it. And then for like 3 months prior, they have you do a special diet where like all you're doing is the only thing you can have is liquid diet. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
nothing but protein shakes, like all day, every day.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember.
and
I
I was
remember
doing
when you
like
were going through that. Yeah. That's.
so, and the way they did it is you did a cycle. So you did 2 weeks of like high protein, like healthy food,
Mm,
I'd say, like vegetables and protein shakes and things like, or no protein shake, but vegetables and like meats and things like
yeah.
that. You do 2 weeks of that, and then you'd have a week of hell, which was just nothing but liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just sit there and cycle through that. And then in that process, like I lost probably 60 pounds. And it was funny because I got told, hey, you need to, one of the things we want to look for is we want to see you have a trend for weight loss. Like
Yeah.
you want to see you lose a little bit of weight before the surgery, make sure you can continue it. And they're like, we'd like to see you get, at the time when I got weighed in and stuff for my initial one, because I'd already lost some weight, I was at like 245. And they're like, well, we'd like to see you, or sorry, 445.
Yeah. I
They're
was
like,
about to
we'd like
say.
to see you,
It's like,
245.
God damn,
I lost
John.
200
Like,
pounds.
You
So like
happy
we'd like
now,
to see around,
doctors?
so, like, we'd like to see around 220 or 425, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, 425, 20 pounds, I can do that.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was walking out, and the person goes, okay, so your weight loss goal is 415. And I'm like, they told me 425. They're like, no, it's 415. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I start doing my workouts and stuff, and I'm like, I'm aiming for 415. I get all the way down to 405, and I'm like, all right, I got enough buffer room. I'm like, I'm there. So I call them up. I'm like, there, I'm ready. And they come in for my weigh, and I go in for my weigh, and I was at like 404,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctor's like, and then like, I have a meeting with. They don't really say anything there, but like, oh, good, you hit your goal, and then they send you out. And then I had a meeting with like the pre-surgery meeting, and they're like, wow, you crushed your goal. We told you 425, and you're down. I'm like, the lady told me 415. I was shooting for that. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, well, I guess more is better. So, anyways, around February, I go in for the surgery, and I actually, interesting story there. I was going in for what they call the Ruin Y, which if you're interested, you can look it up. But it's basically they rearrange your everything. Like you wind up with this like little tiny pouch in your for your stomach, and then they rearrange your bowels and everything. And it's pretty intricate surgery,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to give you. It's one of the more serious ones and gives you like a lot more weight loss.
Well, because
So I go in for that one.
because some of the other ones like are just like they restrict the size of your stomach.
Yes.
So then you can only eat a certain amount, but then as soon as they get rid of that restriction that's restricting it, then the stomach can go back. And then what a lot of happens to a lot of people is like they'll be eating, and then now they're realizing like, oh shit, I'm not as hungry anymore, or like, oh, I'm getting a little bit hungrier now, and that stomach
Yep.
starts to grow when that happens, and then it just slowly goes back to the way it is, and they just fucking put all the weight back on because it didn't really do anything. It was just while that like band was there, that was what was like helping them. But as soon as you remove the band, though.
Yeah, it goes right back. So yeah, that's the lap band. So like the
Yeah.
surgeon that I went to like will not do that.
That's
He's like
that's-
unless it's like a dire emergency, like you cannot do anything else. He's like, I
Mhm.
don't do it. Just don't even ask. So he does not believe in that process at all. But anyways, so I decide that I'm going to do the more serious one because I'm like, I'm that's just the kind of guy. And I'm like, I'm going to take shit serious. I go in for surgery. I go, go out. They knock me out or whatever, bring me back. Um, I wake up in the recovery room
Mhm.
and I hear the guy, like the nurse, talking to the doctor or somebody, and he's like, "Yeah, his um, sleeve gastrectomy went really well." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like I'm like still groggy, and I'm like, "I had the Ruin wine." He's like, "No, you had the sleeve gastrectomy." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like the sleeve gastrectomy, you don't know, they actually cut your stomach, so it's like makes it
Mhm.
about the size of a banana. And they remove about 2/3 or even potentially more, depending of your stomach. And I'm like,
So
what the hell is going on?
so
And I'm like, I'm still groggy, and I just woke up, and I'm like, they did the wrong surgery. Like, what the fuck? So they wheel me into the recovery room, and the first thing I said, I see Maggie there. I'm like, Maggie, they did the wrong surgery. And she's like, oh, the surgeon called me in the middle of your procedure. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, about an hour after you went back, the surgeon called me and said he couldn't do the one that you wanted to do because apparently there's the mesentery, they call it, is what attaches like is the small intestines to the stomach.
Mhm.
He said that mine was really, really tight.
Ugh.
And he said he's done this for like 30 years. He's never seen anybody like that before. He's like,
Oh,
like basically, it's like you're a freak of nature. I've never seen this before.
I
This
mean,
is ridiculous.
let's be honest.
So
We've heard that before in multiple different ways, but never.
yeah, never like that. So, anyways, I wound up with the sleeve gastrectomy. Long story short, there.
That's
And
fucking
then ever since,
wild.
so with that, like your recovery time, you do nothing but drink like protein shakes again. That's why they do
Mhm.
the liquid diet for you beforehand to get you used to it,
Yep.
so you don't hurt yourself.
Mhm.
Um, but like I lost probably another 40 pounds, like just from that. Like I think it was at like 375 or so by the time I could actually start eating real food again.
That's fucking wild.
And then ever since then, it's just been, like I'm eating normal food now. I just don't eat as much
Yeah.
anymore.
I mean,
And I have to make sure I drink protein, and I have to get 120 to 140 milligrams of protein every single day.
yeah.
And if I don't, I feel it. Like the next day,
Mhm.
my muscles hurt. Like
It's
I just don't recover.
it's wild thinking about that as well because like for me, with the gallbladder, one of the things is high fat foods.
Yeah.
So of course, as you know, I do a lot of freshly stuff. So, and I noticed the day that I was in like a ton of pain. One, I had eaten a big fucking high fatty food meal from Freshly, but I also went to the store and bought a bunch of food because that was like kind of my big hoorah before I start getting back in shape. Funny how things work out.
Yeah.
But like, so it's funny because like
kicking the pants.
right, well, like so like because of course, so like I'm down 60 now, I think, and
That's awesome.
I was like, it was recently within the past like couple weeks. I was like, you know what? Like I've lost a decent amount. I'm gonna buy that meal again. I'm gonna buy that meal again and just see because like let's like if I've lost this much weight, maybe I can have something like this, you know. So I bought it again. I had it, and it was funny because I had it, and like an hour after, and I don't know if it was just the way I'm sitting or what, but like an hour or two after, I started feeling it in my back again, and I'm like, oh no. Like I didn't really just like I didn't fucking do this again, did I? Like I didn't really just fucking, but like it went away after a little bit. But I'm sitting there like, all right, yeah. But it's funny though because like I put the limit at like 30 total grams of fat, and it's funny because like there's a couple meals that I have that are like 28. And I feel nothing, but it's like as soon as I go over 30, though, then it's like immediate. So I'm wondering.
You honed in on that number.
Well, I'm wondering as well if it's a little bit of like the psychological aspect of it, where like I've now attributed that number to that pain as well. So like I'm just already anticipating it. You know, but
it could be, but I mean, I don't know. It's just it might just be your body too reacting to the fat like you would expect. So.
I mean, it's interesting. This time, me losing weight is interesting because the last few times I've done it, I've done all sorts of different things. Because since college ended, I lost 50 pounds at one point, I lost 100 pounds at one point, and now we're right now where I'm at 60. So I basically lost a small offensive lineman in high school since college. But like when I first started doing it, I was doing just kind of. I was watching what I ate. I made sure I didn't eat bad things and like that sort of thing, right? And I was just walking to the high school, doing the coaching stuff, walking back, like that sort of stuff. The second time I did it was strictly the DDP diet and the DDP like yoga stuff. And the DDP diet was that you have a serving of protein or you have a serving of carbs. That's it.
Yeah.
For each meal. And a serving is this much and like this. So like once you start figuring all that stuff out, like unlimited veg. So I'd wake up, I would have fruit, wait 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'd eat my meal. Then I'd have an afternoon snack, which was another piece of fruit. Then I'd have my lunch. Then I'd have an afternoon snack, and then I'd have dinner. And it was when I was doing that, which was when I did my inversion, where my biggest meal is at breakfast and my smallest meal is at dinner. That's where my inversion came in, was when I started doing this. Because he said at one point, he's like, you should have, if you're going to have a carb meal, have that in the morning.
Yeah, gives your body the whole day to burn it off.
So what I started doing was I actually started making like basically fried rice in the morning, and that was my morning.
Man, why not?
Like that was my morning meal. Was like I was actually making fried rice like straight off in the morning. But like that, so like when I was doing that though, it fucking filling, and I didn't want to eat anything really. And then it's like, but like so I started doing that, and that's when I lost like the shit ton of weight. But then also points, there was times when like I was eating. Like how there's like the you can get the packet of broths, but they're like the fancy broths where it's like spinach and feta, so nice and thick.
Yeah.
I would have one of those as a meal. That was it.
Yeah,
and it was
about right.
And it was one of those things where it's like it was the most unhealthy thing that I've ever fucking done. Was when I started doing that, because that was when I started the flips, like in the brain, the flip switched, and I was doing the bare minimum eating wise. I was like, all right, 3 eggs, and it would just be 3 eggs, like nothing else added to it, just 3 eggs, salt and pepper, done. Like, so it's interesting going from all those to where I'm at now with just doing calorie deficit, where it's like that's the number, don't cross the number, and I'm losing weight, and it's like staying though, like I'm like,
I mean it's a magic thing, right? So somebody from me who's like a background in math, like, You can eat candy bars all day and lose weight.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're counting calories at the end of the day, if calories out is greater than calories in, you're going to lose weight.
Exactly. And it's amazing to me the people that try to argue against the calorie deficit thing and say like, oh, it doesn't work. It's like, no, it does. It's like
No, so
if it's not working, you're doing something wrong with it.
exactly.
You know,
But
and it's just
the important thing is, it's like you got to look at. So that's you can lose weight that way, but not healthy.
exactly that's the thing.
So that's where the macros come in, right? That's when you got to look at the carbs, you got to look at the protein, you got to look at the fiber or whatever. What's the other one? God, what was it? What's the other macro? Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, there's carbs, protein,
Fat.
and fat. Oh God, I don't know why I couldn't think of that one. But anyways, like and your body doesn't need a lot of carbs. Like that should probably be your smallest group.
Yeah.
Protein your body needs. That's absolutely essential.
Mm-hmm.
And then fat, like you need a little bit of it, but it's not bad if it's there. It's kind of like my neutral, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
So, like when I'm picking foods, it's like I want to make sure that I'm mostly protein. A little bit of fat's okay, and then carbs is like 0 or a little, maybe a small amount, but pretty much none.
Yeah.
But if and that's more for just the healthy aspect because I can only eat so much now. It's like I got to make sure I get that protein.
Exactly.
And,
like right now, the biggest thing for me is, I think when I did the water fast, that kind of fucked me a little bit because I already wasn't like already at that point wasn't like I didn't like eating. Like I would have like a couple of days where like I ate a few meals, and then I have one day where I eat just a fucking ton of shit, and I'll go back to eating just like a little bit here and there every now and then. But like did the water fast, came off the water fast, and I just didn't want to eat anymore.
Yep.
So going from that to now, it's like I have a calorie limit, and I know for a fact if I don't get close to my calorie limit, that's even worse than going over the calorie limit.
Yep.
You know, so it's like it's a tough one for me actually having to eat. But like so right now, my big thing is like I don't care like how I get my calories. I just want my calories. It's one of the reasons why my coffee is fucking like 370 calories or something like that. You know, like.
It's flabbergasting to me. It's like, this is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it's
Coffee to me is 5 calories max.
Yeah, no, my coffee is 317 calories because of the creamer. You know, but like that's the thing though, is like I would rather have that. Like I would rather get my calories from that than like actually eating. Like that's how like I like, you know. But so like it's just so for me right this second. Like that's where I'm at. Is I'm looking strictly at calories. Like I don't look at anything else, because like I think I can get down to 275, 270 range maybe, just like this. Like not worrying about the macros, just worrying about calorie deficit, and doing all the workout and running and cardio and all that stuff that I do.
If you don't mind sharing, where are you at now?
Weight wise?
Yeah.
I'm at 3. Let me check my phone. 317 on the dot.
Okay.
I think, and like that's the last time I recorded a weight. I think the last time I looked, I was at. I think I got 316. Sometimes I don't record it. I just forget to.
Yeah.
But
I mean, everybody, you're going to bounce around too.
Exactly.
Like a lot of people don't realize that. Like especially when you're our size guys. Like I notice my weight can go plus or minus as much as 4 pounds.
Oh yeah.
In either direction.
Well, like mine's funny because mine would do that too. But then I'll just plateau at like a single number for like a week or two.
Oh yeah, and that's how it works.
And it's like, but I'll stay there, and then I drop.
Yep.
And it's one of those things that I love the people that are like, oh, you need to change something when you plateau. No, you don't.
No, you don't. Just stay.
No, you don't. Just ride
Perfectly
that
natural.
Ride that bitch out. It's the roller coaster, right? You're just riding that straight part out, and you will drop eventually. You know.
Yeah, I see an exercise physiologist as well, and that was one of the things he told me. Is like, you're at a plateau because I was worried because I stopped losing weight. And he's like, no, like this is normal. You get to a plateau. He's like, just keep doing what you're doing, keep working out, keep watching what you eat. He's like, you're gonna drop. It'll just take a little bit of time. And he's like, what you'll notice, and I've noticed it. Like he's absolutely right about this. When you hit that plateau, your body changes.
Yeah.
You don't. Your weight doesn't change, but you'll notice it. Like. Your stomach gets a little bit smaller. I drop, shoot like pant size, like I drop shirt size, like all that stuff happened every time I hit a plateau.
Yeah, your body is now getting used to that new number.
Yeah,
is basically what it is. And that's one that I was going to say. Obviously, for you, it's going to be a little bit different with you doing the protein, kind of protein diet, and then going into getting surgery and all that, but. when was the first, like, did you kind of have that moment of, like, where you noticed you had lost the weight? And of course, like I said, it's a little bit different with
Oh
you,
yeah.
but, like, that moment's kind of weird, right?
Oh yeah.
Because, like,
Like I put on a
you.
shirt and I'm like, this shirt didn't fit me. I put it on.
Mm,
Like this fits me great now. And like shirts that fit me great before, I'm swimming in them. Like they look like a tent. And I'm like,
yeah.
holy crap! Like, when did this happen?
Have you noticed it, like, in the mirror? Like, have you seen, like, because that's my one. That happened to
Oh
me,
yeah.
like, last week. And it was the
It's funny.
weirdest fucking thing. The
I got a
weirdest.
I got a Ring doorbell, right?
Hmm.
So like in the way it's angled, you see in a side view the person coming up
Okay.
to our door.
Yep.
And I notice whenever I walk in, it starts recording because whenever it senses motion, it records.
Yep.
And I've noticed like I walk in and I'm like, wow, I look fucking skinny now.
Hmm.
Like that's how I noticed it. Like I don't look in the mirror or anything like that. I'm just not one
Well,
of
like,
those people.
when it's
But
one of those things, right? Like, when you see yourself, it's difficult for you to see any changes because you see yourself daily,
yeah.
and you have that perception of how you look stuck in your head. So, like, it's
Hmm.
difficult when you see it. Like, for me, like, I started noticing it, and that's the thing. Like, and I tried explaining it in a post, and I did a terrible job doing it. But, like, there's a difference between noticing it and then realizing it, right?
Yes.
Like, noticing it, I noticed I started losing weight when I was on the bike and I'm going, and my stomach wasn't as far out onto my thighs as it was.
Hmm.
Like, that was the first time I started noticing it, was when my stomach was kind of coming in, and I'm looking down, like, just kind of like, wait a minute, pretty sure my stomach was further out last time. Like, like that sort of thing. But within,
Notice like little things like that.
like, that's the little notices. But the first time I realized I lost weight was like a couple of days ago when I was in the gym. I was filling up my water bottle, which I pretty sure I've told this story on stream before about how terrible it is for me to fucking fill up my water bottle in the gym.
Hmm.
I was doing that, and I turned to walk out, like turn the light off and walk out, and I looked in the mirror, and that's when I noticed it. Like, that's when I realized it. Like, there, like, I saw, like, how I look now,
Yeah.
and it's like from my chest was just straight down.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm not sitting there, but I'm standing there looking in the mirror, like, it quickly hit, and then I turned and I looked back, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Like what happened?
Like,
Where did I
like,
go?
okay, like, shit.
Yeah.
But it's fucking, it's wild, man. It, like,
Yeah. So like I've dropped I'm wearing 42 now pants now, and I
mhm.
was wearing a 48s before everything started. I was in a 4XL t-shirts when I first started everything. Now I'm in 3XLT and some 2XLT items. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, shredding weight left and right. It's a good feeling. Like,
It's
I feel so much better. And then like you can look at like other things too, like your health, like other health metrics, right?
mhm.
Like, it's more than just weight. Like,
Yeah.
it's my heart rate too. Like, I think I posted this on your
Mhm.
Discord a while ago, but like my heart rate before everything, like before I started losing weight, was up in like my average was in the mid 80s.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes in the 90s, depending if it's a bad day,
Yeah.
which is bad. Like, that's
Mhm.
unhealthy. Now my average is like 59,
Yeah.
60 beats per minute. Like, it's fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like the story that I told where when I went back to the doctors, after they said about like, hey, we want to put you on medicine, and I'm like, all right, bet, like, this is a challenge. You challenged me, sir. I shall have beat you. Like that sort of thing, right? Like, I'm sitting there
Yeah.
and I'm like waiting, I'm waiting. Dude walks in, the first thing he says to me is, "Holy hell, you've lost a lot of weight." And I'm like, "Stop, doc," like, and like the best part was like he's looking at all the charts for all the tests that they took, and I can see the
Mhm.
look on his face of just pure confusion. And I was like, so how'd I do? Did I fail anything? Did I pass stuff? Did I fail? And he's like, and he said, he's like, you're healthy for a small guy, let alone a guy your size. Like, I don't understand what I'm looking at right now. Like, that was his exact words, and I'm sitting there like,
I can work.
well, us Wick boys, we have that effect on the medical field, you know. And then, like, of course, the best part was, well, like, I've been doing yoga because I haven't been doing it recently. But like, I'd been doing
Yeah.
yoga, so like, he's doing all the stretching things to see how like far I can move and everything. And he's doing it. And he's like, there's no way you should be able to move this far. And I was like, I do yoga 2 times a week. And he looks at me. He's like, "You do yoga twice a week?" I was like, "Yeah, I do yoga twice a week." As he's like turning and twisting me in like angles I shouldn't be moving. He's like, "Holy shit!" Which also reminds me, I'm getting close, man. I might be doing yoga on the stream by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna hit the follower goal for it. I don't think we're gonna hit the sub goal for it. I think we're gonna hit the weight goal for it. I said if I lose 75 pounds, like when I lose 75 pounds, then I would do. I don't want to do when I hit 75. I want to do when I'm like at 75, like a consistent, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing with when I hit 50. When I hit 50, I got the McDonald's big platter, breakfast platter there. God, that was weird. But yeah, no.
And I haven't had fast food in forever.
Well, that's the funny that's the funny thing that I find with the calorie thing is because like I see people putting up stuff and it's like, oh look at my lunch, and it's like a couple fucking like grapes and like maybe like a cracker or two and like a gummy bear or like some fruit.
It's not gonna sustain you, man. Come on.
Right, and I'm sitting there looking at that and I was like cool. So I just had McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm down
You're
60.
Yep.
You're eating that shit. And you ain't doing nothing, and it's just it blows my mind because of course, like I said, with me being in health science in college, for a fact I was fucking researching diets left and right for different courses. Outside of it, I've been doing it fucking for myself, for some kids, since then. It amazes me that no matter what, at the end of the day, the one consistent one across the board is just count your fucking calories.
Yep.
It's the easiest thing, especially the app that I have, right? So I have an app called Lose It. Not sponsored, should be sponsored. If you want to sponsor. Not sponsored though, so fuck them. But on here, right, as I put my weight in, the calorie number goes down.
The calories you burn?
No, yes, the calories I'm allowed every day.
Yeah.
So, if I go all the way back, let's say here. So, March 22nd was the very first day I put stuff in, okay? So, on March 20th, right? March 20th, I was allowed 2,881 calories. That's it. For the day.
What was your deficit you're running?
That's the thing. It doesn't tell me my deficit. It just tells me what my budget is. So, I think it's going off of the typical, I think it's 3,400, 3,200? I think that counts into part of where you put in how much, how active you are. Mm-hmm. There's a part where you put in how active you are, and it gives you a limit sort of thing. But so I was at 2881 when I first started, right? And then if I go to today, I'm at 2611. So the budget changes as you put in your weight, as your weight decreases. So you don't have to technically do the math that you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So everything's done for me. It's a free fucking app. If you want to pay for it, you can. You get a bunch of the different macro stuff for it and a bunch of other stuff. One of the cool features I like for the paid thing that I'm not gonna do, but if I did, it's the main reason why, is that I can plan my meals.
Yeah.
Because with me eating freshly and everything, I'm almost 100% consistent every day with what I eat.
Yeah, it's easy for you to plan because you know what you're getting.
And that's the thing. It's
ready for the week.
And that's the thing is no matter what, every single week, at some point, here's a visual image for everyone out there that's adorable. No matter what, every weekend there's a husky sitting cross-legged in front of his fridge with all of his freshly meals out in front of him, and me going, I want that one on Monday. And I want that one on Monday. And then I put it in the fridge. So it's literally Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I do it with everything. I do it with all the meals. But every single weekend I do that. If you want to have an adorable image of me in your head, just picture me in front of a fridge, cross-legged, seriously sitting there looking at meals, just what am I feeling on this Tuesday? Right?
Yeah, it's just basic meal planning, right?
And that's the thing is it's
but it makes it easy because you got the nice delivery meals and everything like that. And that's some of the nice things about those is it's all pre-portioned. And you know what you're getting.
Exactly. Well, I guess the thing
is
the
quality. You know what you want. You could just put it in the fridge just like you did.
Exactly. Like my old man sent me a picture today of some of my mom's cauliflower cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, if anyone's had my mom's cauliflower cheese, it's fucking incredible. And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a tub or two for you." And I was like, "Well, that's gonna suck trying to figure out how to put that into my fucking phone." You
So
know,
what's in that?
well,
I
cauliflower
gotta put
cheese.
in all the individual ingredients.
Well, that's the best part, right? It's literally cauliflower and cheese. Like,
Can't go wrong there.
I mean, no, it's like I said. So it's cauliflower cheese and then her mashed potatoes. So what you do is you put it all together, and then what I do is you put it all on the same plate, and then basically you just take your fork and you just mush up the cauliflower,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just mix it all together.
Sounds
And it's
delicious.
just a giant plate of just mashed cauliflower potato cheese. Like, is the like if I get it when I get a tub of it, I'll send you a picture. It's so fucking it's unreal. Um, it's like honestly, it's like it's the best thing that either one of my parents make. Yeah, I mean, of course, my mom's potatoes are like she's known for her potatoes now.
Oh,
Like,
come on. She's English.
yeah, like
English always had the best potatoes.
like when we have the like the work functions, like they ask her to like make to make potatoes and bring them in, sort of thing, you know.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. So I'm kind of excited about that. But then at the same time, I'm sitting there like, fuck, this is gonna be a pain in the ass to put on my phone.
That's a part of my life I had to give up. I used to bake a lot. Like I used to bake cookies and bread, like my own homemade bread. Like I don't buy bread from the store. It's cheaper to make it yourself and it tastes better. Like all that stuff. I used to do all that like baking stuff at home, and now I'm like, I can't have carbs, so I don't do it anymore. I can't have you delicious things.
Can't have you. I mean, I've gone into a bad habit recently of buying different types of breads, like banana bread, pumpkin nut bread is the one that I have right now. I had like a chocolate marble pound cake bread sort of thing. Like they're in the store and they're like on the way out of the store. Like I cross it, I go past it. I bought one a little while ago and it's like it was just like a pumpkin bread. And it was so delicious. Like 2 slices of pumpkin bread was like 300 calories plus my coffee. Like there's 600 easy calories. And it's like, you know, have them together because it's, you know, it's pumpkin bread and coffee. Like it's just, you know, fuck it, why not, you know? And that's been my new curse now. So every time I go to the store, I'm like looking for it like a fucking crackhead, seeing what types they have. And the one that I had this time was pumpkin nut, and it's actually really good. The weird thing was though is that the container says 150 a slice, but the phone app said 125 a slice. So I'm going with the phone app because then that means I'm allowed mo.
Yeah, it's within the margin of error.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like I don't include me walking around. I don't include my work. The only time I include exercise stuff is like when I actually do exercise, because like I can put in like work, like there's like a manual labor like work and like a different. There's all sorts of different fucking things you put in there, and I never do because it's like I don't fucking whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's your fudge. That's your fudge calorie burn.
Exactly right. So, oh. Hey man, it's good. I'm glad you were able to come on today
Yeah.
for the
good.
final one before the football season starts.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to get on too.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
it was.
We had a nice little couple nice story times. Got a little, talking about weight loss and all this good stuff that we've been doing for ourselves.
A nice little motivational, you know, stories here. You know, 2 big ass linemen trying to lose weight, showing that anyone can fucking do it.
One more question before we get off here.
Okay.
Where are you at relative to your playing weight from back in the day?
Oh.
Because I was just thinking about this like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, God, or maybe I guess it was like an hour and 20 minutes ago. But I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I'm skinnier now than when I played football. Like that's just wild to me.
Weight wise,
Yeah.
probably junior year.
Okay.
Because
You're where you were junior year.
yeah, because like senior year I came in like fucking with a fire in my ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think I came in at 310, and by the end of the season I was 280. But like junior year, I'm pretty sure I stayed around like around 320 the entire season. I'm pretty sure. Because I know sophomore year I came in at 350. And I was like,
Yeah.
that was the old, you need to gain weight. Yes, sir. I can do that.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I would say. I would say it's probably around junior year.
Okay. Because like I think my weight was like between 385 at best, and then I think I was up to like four, probably about a little over four. I think like the start of the season. That is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you were too much over four. I always,
Yeah.
whenever anyone asked, I always used to just say four, like on the dot, sort of thing. You
Yeah,
know?
and normally that would be like after 2 weeks of camp or whatever, I would be
Yeah.
like 390 or whatever. But I might come into the season at like 405 or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Like we all lost a little bit of weight. It's just depending on who you were. You know, like
Right.
I don't think like Martin lost any weight during the seasons. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
um, but yeah, no, it's interesting to think
So
about.
then I just stepped on the scale this morning after
Hmm.
my run and everything, and I was 359.
There
And
we
I'm like,
go.
holy crap! Like it really hit home. Like I've never been this skinny since like I don't even know, like probably middle school.
That's
Like
wild.
I know.
That's wild. Well, I mean,
Hey,
I'm glad, I'm happy that we're both doing this.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
been quite the journey.
yeah. But so for everyone out there, this is like I said at the beginning, jokingly but not really. This is the last the effing title podcast because starting either Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not sure which day yet. I still have to talk with the boys. The podcast is taking a nice little sharp right hand turn, and it is going nothing but football. We're going to be talking each week's matchups, and we're going to be doing some pick'ems. I got a new layout, a new overlay, and everything, and it looks kind of fancy. Hopefully, you guys will like it. Hopefully, you guys will stop by and hang out for that. I'm excited for it. Start talking football again. And then, once the football season is over with, we have a huge surprise on the horizon for the effing title. I'm not even going to say what it is. I'm just going to leave it at that and say that we have a huge surprise that I don't think a lot of you are going to see coming. So, depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, stay trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.